Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office. It is Thursday morning. It is the 13th day of July, 2023, and this is the morning briefing. What we're going to be talking about today, of course, are temperatures. That's going to be the main focus here, and I'll continue to show you some of the differences the models are showing. But the thing that I'm liking about what we've been seeing so far throughout the week is a rather consistent pattern. And by that, I mean, what we've been seeing is the models continue to hone in on the weekend as being the hottest time. And temperatures today running a little bit warmer than yesterday, but nothing extreme. And Friday over 100, but again, nothing extreme. So the models have been very consistent at pointing to Saturday and Sunday for being peak heat with some cooling coming early next week. So what that leaves us with as forecasters is trying to dial in the exact temperature. And so I'll show you some of the differences that we'll be seeing in some of the models and how we're coming up with some of those numbers that we are tossing out there. But yeah, again, the bottom line here is that Saturday and Sunday are going to be the hottest days with probably some areas in that 108, 110 range, but not everybody. All right, let me show you what's happening this morning. Nice satellite this morning. There's some marine layer here. Of course, it's not as robust as what you would like to see. There is some inland penetration down in here into the Salinas Valley, as well as into the Bay Area, but it's not that extensive. Looks like there was a little bit of fog here, maybe into the Napa Valley, but burning up very, very quickly. This is very shallow. It's only about 1,000 feet thick. As a matter of fact, I can show you that with the Fort Ord Profiler. Love to look at this thing at this time of year. So this is the depth of the marine layer. Let me move this just a little bit more so you can see 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet. So here's the marine layer. Here's the warm air above, as you can see corresponding up here on the graph. This is a 26 degree Celsius temperature. Down here, this blue area, that's 12 degrees Celsius. So quite a temperature gradient as you, so if you were down here at the surface and you got in a hot air balloon and you went straight up at 1,000 feet, the temperature would still be in the 50s, but then you would go into the 70s rather quickly as you went between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. So the marine layer down here around 1,000 feet, that's kind of squashed. And yeah, so if you want to get a good cool breeze into the valley, you need this to be up around 2,000 feet or higher. And obviously that's not happening just yet. So let's talk a little bit about temperatures, because that's what we're going to be kind of focusing on. I'm going to show you a couple of different models. This is the HRRR model, which, well, it does okay. And like I said earlier in some of these other chats, we look at some models here to we get an idea. So, you ballpark it off, some might be too low, some might be too high, and kind of treat it like the Olympics. You toss out the high, toss out the low, although sometimes the highest or the lowest works out. So this is the HRRR, and this is the 5 o'clock temperatures today. And as I scroll over this, you can see most valley areas are coming around 95, 96. We've been forecasting 100 for today. My hunch is that it's going to be more like 98, off by 1 or 2 degrees, maybe 100 degrees, maybe on the safe side. But I do think there may be 1 or 2 spots, maybe around Marysville, that could hit 100. But for the most part, I think today is going to be a day that's similar to what we've been seeing lately. On Tuesday, we saw a high of 99. I don't think so. Today probably doesn't really start the heat wave. So that's this morning. This afternoon, rather. Let's get to tomorrow morning. One of the features I always like to point out to you is the inversion. So these are the early morning temperatures tomorrow. Valley, low 60s, because there will be some onshore gradient. But in the foothills, overnight lows in the 70s again. So Auburn and Placerville and Angels Camp and Jackson, we'll see overnight lows probably around 70 to 72. Let's get into Friday afternoon, because this will be a hot day. This is Friday at 5 o'clock. And now you see temperatures are over 100, especially Sacramento County, 101. You go farther north toward Marysville, 105, 108, 109 toward Redding, Red Bluff, 110 here toward Redding. So yeah, that's where you're going to see the hottest weather. Closer to the coast, not bad. Solano County, temperatures in the 80s and 90s. Certainly Napa County staying in the 80s and 90s. And then through the San Joaquin Valley, temperatures around 100 or so. So that's Friday. And then this model won't go to Saturday afternoon, but it will show you Saturday morning. And once again, the same pattern with temperatures in the 60s in the valley and temperatures in the upper 70s in the foothills. So that's kind of going to set the stage for some of that hotter weather for Saturday. Is a very warm overnight. So now let's switch over to the NAM, which goes out a little bit farther in time, but it doesn't quite have the same resolution. But this is the same thing Saturday morning. It's showing the same pattern. Temperatures in the upper 70s in the foothills, 60s in the valley. So yeah, there'll be places like Colfax and Grass Valley, Nevada City that wake up Saturday morning to a low of 75 degrees. All right, let's get into Saturday afternoon. This is Saturday at 5 o'clock. So this is the hottest day that we've been forecasting. And this model, a couple of degrees lower. 107, 108, yeah, 109, hot, hot, hot. Just one of those days you want to, I keep saying it, you want to plan around the heat. You want to work around the heat, if you will. The morning hours, there won't be very many morning hours that'll be cool, but you just try to take it easy and hydrate, stay out of the direct sun, keep your house as dark as possible, all the things you can do to try to stay cool on a day like Saturday with a temperature of 108, 109. And while that's plenty hot, the GFS has been running hotter. So this model is showing 114 for Sacramento. This to me seems unlikely, especially with a bit of an onshore gradient. The only way that I see us getting to a 112 in Sacramento County would be if we had some sort of a north breeze, and I just don't see that happening. So this is the one that we would be tossing out, and this has also been showing some even higher numbers. And if we get into the day on Sunday, let's go to Sunday afternoon, right there. Sunday afternoon, this is also showing some of the hot weather too. 119s, 120s, So this to me seems unreasonable, especially when we have a bit of an onshore gradient. So the bottom line here is that, either way, it's going to be hot. But I think that some of the extreme numbers coming from the GFS are probably out of whack. And unfortunately, a few days ago, that was the only model that went out far enough to give us any of those numbers. Now that we're getting both the HRRR and the NAM, the higher resolution models are taking a look at some of this heat we're expecting, and they're not quite as hot. But again, we're splitting hairs here. Whether it's 108 in the valley or 112, either way, that's hot. And it is the sort of heat that you do need to plan around, because the other problem here is on Saturday and Sunday, it'll be 100 degrees at noontime. It'll be 100 degrees at 7:30 in the evening. So it's just a prolonged period with temperatures above 100 degrees. And you just have to take advantage of as much air conditioning as you can just to try to keep your body temperature down. And the good thing here is that this does not look like a prolonged heat wave. By Monday, temperatures will come down, although they'll probably still top 100. But then beyond that, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll see temperatures get back into the 90s. So if you have an app or something that's showing you some sort of outrageous temperature for the weekend, keep in mind that's probably it's probably coming off the GFS. So yeah, there are some bigger numbers out there, but I think the 108s, 110s that we're forecasting right now seem to be a more reasonable sort of thing. Reasonable, but hot. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. It being Thursday, there will be a live chat tonight at 8 o'clock, and I'll be on KCRA tonight at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.